In a quaint old town nestled between mist-covered hills, there lived a family named the Andersons. They were a happy family of four: Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, their young daughter Emily, and their teenage son Michael. Their lives were ordinary, filled with laughter, love, and the occasional spat. One day, a package arrived at their doorstep addressed to Mrs. Anderson. Inside was a dusty, antique doll with porcelain skin and glassy eyes that seemed to follow you wherever you went. Alongside the doll was a note, written in elegant script, explaining that it was a family heirloom passed down through generations. Excited by the unexpected gift, Mrs. Anderson placed the doll on a shelf in Emily's room, where it would watch over her as she slept. At first, everything seemed normal, but soon strange things began to happen. Emily started having nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night screaming about a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness. Mrs. Anderson brushed it off as just a phase, but deep down she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. As the days passed, the strange occurrences only intensified. Objects would move on their own, footsteps echoed through the empty halls at night, and chilling laughter seemed to fill the air whenever the doll was near. Michael, ever the skeptic, scoffed at the idea of a haunted doll, attributing the incidents to mere coincidence. But Mrs. Anderson knew better. She couldn't ignore the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of her stomach every time she looked into the doll's glassy eyes. Determined to uncover the truth, she began researching the doll's history, delving into old family records and dusty archives. What she discovered sent shivers down her spine. The doll had a dark past, tainted by tragedy and loss. It was rumored to be cursed, its previous owners plagued by misfortune and madness. Mrs. Anderson realized that they were in grave danger, and she knew they had to get rid of the doll before it was too late. But no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't seem to rid themselves of the cursed doll. It always found its way back to them, its presence looming over their lives like a dark shadow. Desperate and afraid, they sought the help of a local priest, hoping that he could perform an exorcism and banish the evil spirit once and for all. On the night of the ritual, the house was filled with an eerie silence as the priest began his prayers, his voice echoing through the empty halls. But as he spoke the words of exorcism, a chilling wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging them into darkness. In the pitch blackness, they heard the doll's laughter, cold and mocking, echoing through the house. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the laughter ceased, leaving behind a suffocating silence. When they dared to light the candles once more, they found the doll sitting in the center of the room, its glassy eyes gleaming in the dim light. It was as if nothing had happened, as if the ritual had never taken place. Defeated and exhausted, the Andersons realized that they were trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. The haunted doll had claimed them as its own, and they were doomed to suffer its torment for all eternity. And so, the house on the hill became known as a place of darkness and despair, its walls haunted by the restless spirit of the cursed doll and the unfortunate souls who dared to cross its path. And as for the Andersons, their fate was sealed, their lives forever entwined with the horrors of the haunted doll.